call the policy committee meeting to order. And the first item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The first item is to approve the minutes of June 16th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Item number 3, policies for first reading tonight. Policy EBBA-4, immunization standards, minor changes.
So it no longer has to be notarized. So the word down at the bottom, and has been notarized. It does not have to be notarized. And then I added the link to the state immunizations. And I know that there's a typo. It says SATE. If you look at yours. Those
Okay.
elementary school teachers that are out there, my typo. So I'll fix that. So it just is an embedded link for parents to find that, and they don't have to be notarized any longer.
Any questions about that one? Policy JLDBB, suicide prevention and response, minor changes.
We added number 5. It's now required that identification cards in grades 6 through 12 include the name and telephone number for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
Any questions on that one? And policy KBA-2-R, administrative procedure, right to know request, which is new.
So you'll notice that there's a form now that people will fill out if they're requesting. It's their signature, the date, they print their name, it's their address and their phone and email, who received it, the date and time that they received it, and then signed off by the superintendent.
Have we not kept track of right to know requests in any way at all?
I think we have, but probably not as specific and formal as it is. If you also notice, there's a spreadsheet that I gave you, and so we'll be having a spreadsheet that also tracks the number of staff that it took to complete that request and the number of hours that was spent on that request, and that spreadsheet will be posted to the district's website so that you'll be able to see how much requests are happening, when they're coming in, and it'll also say the date that it was completed. So it's just making it much more formalized and public. Questions?
I like it, but are they bound to use this? So if somebody were to send a right to know request that's emailed instead of having to send this in, are we not going to allow that?
I don't know if the word's allow, but I would ask them to do this because this ensures that everything is organized and nothing's slipping through the cracks. So one person isn't dropping off a note and one person's emailing, and this ensures, because this has their signature on it. So,
But could they do it electronically or no?
I mean, I can find out that answer for you.
I guess that would be my question, especially during COVID. If somebody can, I mean, it's easy to type an email request to do a 91A,
They could fill it out and scan it back to us
and that would be acceptable?
if they're worried about coming in.
Okay.
Because it has, I think the important thing is having their signature and their name on it.
I just want to make sure if somebody is
I
emailing
could
a
go
right
and-
to know
yeah,
request,
yeah.
that we're going to still honor it. What if they refuse to fill? I didn't know if we're allowed to say you have to.
My only other concern about the email is that I could go into somebody's email and request something on their email. That doesn't mean that it was from me. Public computers are shared sometimes and shared within homes. This just makes it more official. When somebody signs something, you know it's actually coming from that person. It's just a way to keep things organized. Yep.
I just want to make sure that if we can't force, go ahead.
Yep.
It gives you, it says assistance will be provided if needed.
Right, but if somebody doesn't want to fill out the form and still wants to do a 91A, I just want to make sure we're covered. I guess
We'll make sure everybody gets the information they need, that they request.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is similar to how towns and cities also handle right to know requests. They oftentimes have the form and then they present it publicly.
This will make us more in line with the city.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So when people request, right to know request items, I obviously see the superintendent email him back and said he timestamps it, but it also says that we need to let them know within 5 business days. Are we doing that? Making sure they know if they can get that item? Are we responding back and letting them know, yes, we're gonna work on this, it's gonna take some time, or we just, what are we doing there? Just curious.
Yes, within 5 days, we have to acknowledge that it either exists or doesn't exist.
Okay.
Yep.
And then we provide also a timeline, a time frame of when they can expect to get the response.
And there are lots of things that can hold it up.
Yep.
And, you know, we've got to get legal involved.
So,
Yep.
so going back to most public records are available, superintendent's office are available without filing a right to know. So we're not tracking, if somebody walks into the superintendent's office and requests files or whatever, there's no tracking of time spent, administrative time collecting that data if somebody walks in and requests in person?
I don't think many people walk in and ask for something that's
Okay.
quick and simple, where, you know, the receptionist or one of us could go out back and just get the information and share it with that person. So if somebody came in and it was more intensive, we certainly could track it. But I think when this is filled out, they're probably asking for something that's gonna be more intensive. And if they did come in and we weren't able to just help them right then, that's when we'd say that that's probably something that needs to be, take time and energy, you know, if they want numbers and spreadsheets and
Something more
things.
extensive.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I guess I would, yes.
Is there a time frame that we need to either get that to them or tell them no? Or can it take, we all set? Is there a time frame that we need to get this out to them, like give them an answer, like, yes, we're working on it, it's gonna take so-and-so? Because I know the superintendent puts out a rough timeline, but is there an exact timeline in the law that says when we need to have this out?
I can find out. I don't know if there's an exact deadline per se. I think especially where different requests require different information,
Of course. Okay.
but I could get more specific. I can dig that up for you and
Okay.
see if there's a end date.
All right, thank you.
Did you have a question?
I'd just like to make a motion to move those 3 policies to the full board for first reading.
Second.
All those in favor?
Oh,
Aye.
Oh,
I just have one more question.
okay.
It says, and I lost it, sorry, because, it says that it says a brief synopsis of all right to know requests are available for viewing. Are they available right now? So if we went on to that, or are they going to be available?
Refer back to where you are.
It says a brief synopsis of all right to know requests are available for viewing on the district website homepage at www.rochesterschools.com.
That's gonna be that spreadsheet.
Okay, so I just, for clarification, it's not up there now, but once this gets
No,
approved, it's
that's
going to
what-
eventually
yeah,
get
that's what
there?
we're trying to do is get this filled out so we can use this, yep.
So can I ask one more question? So we had somebody request the check registry,
Mhm.
and, because we had it online, but then we had taken it off. That's not something we would put on the website, because we took it off the website because we wanted to make sure that we protected ourselves.
Moving forward from here on in, if they filled out a right to know request, we would track it on that spreadsheet
Okay,
from once it's approved moving forward.
okay,
And it did say a brief synopsis, so something wouldn't be there in its entirety that was answered in a right to know. We could just state in that spreadsheet that a check registry inquiry was.
but if somebody else wanted the same inquiry, they couldn't just click that link and get the right to know request, they would have to? Okay. Perfect, thank you.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, I'll call the vote on the 3 moving to the full board for first reading. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Next, we have policies for second reading. Policy GCD, professional staff hiring, no changes. Just a review. And policy KBA-2, public's right to know, major changes. any questions or?
A motion to accept these for second reading and adoption by the board.
Second.
Any questions?
Just one, have we had, no, this one's really quick. We've had a lot of right to know requests. Have we had any input from the public on the new right to know request since it's so vastly changed?
I can't speak to that because I've only been here in this role for the amount of time that I have, so I don't know. I can find out, but I haven't.
I haven't heard any, so I was just curious. I mean, we have so many right to know requests and we vastly changed our right to know request policy, so I was curious if there was any feedback.
Mrs. Chris?
Yes.
I mean, all of our stuff has been published publicly, no one's
Yeah.
come forward, they haven't come in for public comment, so I'd say at this point, they have another opportunity, the full board.
No, I
if they have
agree.
any concerns.
And I think this makes it clear.
Yeah.
This policy change. I'm gonna call the vote. Matt, you made the motion?
Yes, you said second.
And you seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Now we'll move on to the full board. 5-year plan. I think we have nothing.
No homework right now, but don't worry.
It'll be coming.
Yes.
Number 6, public comment. Does anyone from the public wish to make a statement? Does anybody? I'll close public comment. Any other? No others? I'll put the motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The policy is done.